No EXIF 7. Shooting analog with my Leica M6, I don't have the helpful data, the so-called EXIF data, that tells you the exact date and time, the aperture and the shutter speed the photo was taken at. So I'm trying to reconstruct the story behind the images. My professional camera in 2009 was a Canon 1DS. It got pretty wet and muddy at the World Cup in Maribor. This camera went into retirement a long time ago, and this photo was taken with a Leica M6 at the media center in Maribor. The Leica M6 was already considered old at that time, but today, 10 years later, it's still on duty. In 2009, the Mountain Bike World Cup season kicked off in Pietermaritzburg, South Africa. It was my first time in Africa. It was a totally new experience, and I learned a lot. The typical vegetation wasn't jungle as I expected. It was actually rapidly growing timber. I found out about a South African mountain bike brand called Morwood, and I had the chance to meet Patrick Morwood, the founder of the brand, in person. The shuttle for the downhill riders was a lorry, so bikes and the riders were in the same cargo room. Not sure if modern face recognition would have spotted Danny Hart in this truck. There he is. The Yeti team in 2009, Sam Blenkinsop, Aaron Gwynn and Jerry Graves. And there was Win Masters skulking around the team tent, trying to catch a glimpse of the result list. Speaking of result lists, this is Danny Hart in Schladming, sitting in a gondola and studying the results. This is La Bresse in France, the second round of the Downhill World Cup in 2009. Sam Hill takes an easy manual during the practice run. He finished second and Mick Hanna third. And this was a quick photo before boarding on my way to Fort William. Arriving at Glasgow Airport, we learned that the car rental office had run out of cars, so we had to wait for people to return their cars. Meanwhile, Duncan Riffle was in charge of entertaining the queue. Fort William is one of the best organized World Cups, and I can only agree. Fort William is also beautiful, very scenic and tranquil, unless Sam Hill disturbs the peace. Spectators in Fort William are always great, and Kiwis can make a record too. It's hard to guess the year of mega avalanche by looking at the images, because the landscape and the scenery look almost the same every year. But this was quite a unique moment when I bumped into Victor Lucas at the start line of the qualification. He had a do-it-yourself POV camera and a self-made chest harness with a Canon 5D mount on and a Pocket Wizard remote trigger. It's hard to understand why 4-cross disappeared from the World Cup. We've had great courses, great spectators, great locations, great personalities, and it was always great entertainment. Schladming in Austria hosted the final round of the 2009 World Cup. Sam Hill won the Downhill World Cup and also the overall title for 2009. The 4-cross was at night. This is Michael Prokop, number 1 in qualification, and Jared Graves literally shoulder to shoulder. Finally, Jared Graves won the World Cup and also the overall title in 2009. 2009 was in the books. 2009 was another season we saw Matti Laikonen injured. And 2009 was also the last time we saw Schladming on the World Cup calendar.